Alright guys, today we're going to remove all the decals on our KRX 1000. Crazy? Nope. What we done, we've ordered another decal set. Or maybe they might call it a wrap, I don't know, but it's from Rapstar. And oh my god, it's going to be awesome. It's an American flag, Old Glory. And Rapstar can do anything you want. If you want to do a custom wrap or a custom decal set, they can do that. So we're going to start taking the decals off. It's best to do this on a nice warm day, sunshiny, unless you're in a shop. If you have a shop, you know, then you can take this and set it in the shop, get some heat on it, and take the decals off. But when the sun's shining on the decal and it warms up, it's easier to come off. And if they're hard to come off, you can take a little heat gun and heat on the decals and pull them off also. So let's start taking these off. All right, luckily, like I said, it's warm out here, so you just kind of get it started and pull them. All right. It's all over but the crying now. And then when we get these done, we're going to clean the panels real good before we stick our new decals on. Because anything underneath the new decal, hair, piece of grit, sand, anything on it is going to show. And also another thing about it is if it's not clean, it's not going to stick good. Look at there. This actually looks pretty good with no decals on it. Look at there. If this was winter time, they would be breaking and tearing and all kind of other stuff. So taking the decals off is easy. My wife just said it is winter time. Well, it's a warm day here in Georgia. Come off. Oh yeah, look at there. One other thing I'm going to do is anywhere there's if there's a nick or a groove or something, I'll smooth them out too when I'm getting ready to put these on, if there's any. All right, let me finish taking these off. Well, I have one more. My wife's doing the other side. You can hear her over there. Everybody loves taking decals off. Putting them on is different. Look at there. Cat tracks. And we don't own a cat. Ugh. Oh well.
You better leave that on till you see.
No, it gets replaced. Okay, so what we got to do, we've got our decals off, so we need to clean this. So what I'm going to do first is go over it with Windex. This has got ammonia in it. I'm not sure how that's going to work, but we're going to see how good it cleans. So that's the first thing we're going to do. And after we get done, I think we're still going to have this glue line right here. So we'll make sure we get that glue line off too. We might like to take a little elbow grease to get that off. And all I've got is a microfiber rag, just because I feel like it's more lint free. And we might actually get rained out here today, so we probably won't finish this today, but we're doing all we can before the rain hits. All right guys, I won't bore you with this. We're just gonna clean it, and then I'll catch you up if I do anything different. All right, what I've got is some acetone. It cleans project residue. That's what we want to do, is get rid of residue. So I'm taking it and I got the cap open, I got a rag in my hand. No, I don't have on gloves. I wet it, my rag. And then I'm just going over it. And any like little glue lines, I'm gonna make sure that I rubbed in them pretty hard to see if I got them all gone. Right here's a spot. Does that show, Trina?
You can't see the spot.
All right, that spot's gone, all except a little bit of a scratch. Get a little more acetone. All right, got that smoothed out. I'm just going over the machine like that, and also while I'm doing this, I'm taking note of any like little scratches, like right there was a little scratch. And I'm gonna get that scratch out, even if it takes a knife and scraping that out. If I do that, I'll show you. All right, I'm gonna go over the whole machine like this. Okay, this is the side that's been wiped down with acetone. And you can see, like this little place right here, I'm gonna smooth that out. It don't matter that it's a mark, just as long as it don't trap air underneath there. But I'm gonna walk you around and show you the other side that we haven't wiped down yet. I hope this shows. You can see where the decals were, where they're not. So we gotta wipe it down. And also, I left my door open, and my cousin, Jesse, thank you Jesse, he hit my door and ripped the brace out right here. So I took a plastic welder and welded that back in. Well, I've noticed I've got another crack right there, and it's right here. So before I do this, I'm gonna weld that too, and that I'll show you how to do that. That might be a, tell you what, I'm gonna do that, and if you want to see that, I'll link that video in the future so you can see how I done that. When you order your kit from Rapstar, mine came in a box like this. Thought that was really neat. They sent mine FedEx. Here's the roll. We're gonna unroll it and look at it. But here's something else I wanted to, they included a, this is actually a decal paddle. They got Bondo spreaders and are a little bit more flexible, but this one is actually a decal. And I didn't even know it was in there. I dumped the box out and there it was. So that's a plus, because I actually went to the dollar store. I didn't think I'd find it at the dollar store, but I went to the dollar store last night and tried to find one. Okay. We're just gonna roll them out and look at them. Oh, look at this. And this is thick material. This is going to be beautiful. Can you see it, baby? Look at that. So we're just sitting here looking here and then looking on the machine and deciding which pieces go where. And in the Army, those of you who don't know, I spent 10 years in the military in the Army, and we had a thing in school. They taught us to mind map. That's where you kind of know where you're going before you go. So that's what I'm doing here, is mind mapping. And that's another reason that this means so much to me, is because I spent 10 years in the military and actually a combat veteran. So that really means a lot to me. All right, enough patriotic stuff. Well, what do you mean patriotic? All this is patriotic. All right, guys, today is the day. We are finally going to install the wrap on the KRX 1000. Now, he makes these wraps for every machine out there, kayaks, trucks, boats, whatever. So remember that when you're looking for a wrap or decal set. And this is called a wrap set, is what he calls it. And it's basically looks like a decal kit to me. Now, he does, when you get your package, it comes with this, and it shows you one page has got all this on it, or one sheet, another sheet's got all this on it, and another sheet's got your hood on it. So we're going to start with the hood piece. Okay, so now get my scissors. What I've decided to do is go ahead and cut this decal out. And what I'm going to do, that way I can lay it on the hood and make sure I know where it goes before I peel it off. So I'm going to cut it. Once I cut it, then I'll meet you at the machine. Voila, it's cut and it's here. All right, first of all, let me tell you that we took all the decals off of it, and then I wiped down the panel real good, and I actually went over it with acetone and make sure all the sticky or anything else that was on it that shouldn't be there is off of it. Now, and I've cut my decal to where I know where it goes. Is that where it goes, Trina? Yes. All right, that's the reason I cut it, so we'll know. Now it goes right here, and we'll get it to fit when we cut it down there, and I'll show you how it's going to go on there. All right, so I'm going to peel it off, and then I'll talk to you more in a minute. So one thing you'll need is a squirt bottle, and you want one with like a fine mist if that shows up. And so you want that. It's okay. She looked at me because I wet what I just dried off and cleaned. So now I also, stay right here. I went to buy one of these bottles, and the dollar store or Dollar General only had this one, which it does wonderful. It's a pump-up sprayer. It was $5, or you can buy this one for $1. Either way, they're fine. So what you want to do, got my decal here, you want to wet your surface. All right. And I'm going to pull my decal off.
That's the top right there.
And you want to make sure that it doesn't stick to itself when you do this. And one thing I can tell you about this decal, it is thick. It's awesome. It seems like really, I mean, it should last. So now you're going to wet the back of your decal also. Now, I have put on a lot of decals, but you don't have to be a decal guru to be able to do this. It's such a simple process. All right, so you lay it on there, and you don't have to be exact right here because you can still move it. You put a little bit more water in it. All right. Now then I can move it around. And it looks like this is going to follow some lines. Am I off? It's really sticky, wanting to stick. All I'm trying to do is make sure I got this where it needs to be before I make it stay. Oh, just hit it on the side right there. I'm trying to get it where I think it's going to go. Does it look like it? Okay. Now they also provided this actual decal brush. So what you're going to do now is you're going to get the water out of it. Just work the water out. And the humps and bumps and all that good stuff. And what we're going to do once we get all this water out and get it where we think we're ready for it, then we're going to put a hair dryer on it. And that hair dryer, let me pull this up a little bit. The hair dryer is going to get the rest of the water out from under it. Right here I need to pull it up a little because of the dip. I didn't get it in the dip like it's supposed to go. That's better, much more better. I love how thick this stuff is. My hand's in the way. And this is probably the hardest piece on it because it's got a lot of curve in it. You can hear the air trying to come out of it. You can work it out with the water. We're going to put a little heat on it. with the Weiss blow dryer.
I
actually didn't get enough water in that, but I'll show you what we'll do about them decal, that button, that bubble. I'm working that air bubble. I don't know if you can see it. And there went some water with it. If I can't get that bubble out, let's say if you get one and you just can't, let me turn this off. You could take a needle and you could poke a little hole in it. If you put enough water on there, you won't have that issue. So I'm gonna work all these bubbles out, then I'm gonna go to the next decal. I didn't get that down quite far enough. I'm gonna have to poke another hole in that. So guys, I don't think I put enough water under that. I probably should have started with a flat piece first to learn a little, but I didn't. So I'm gonna put a hole there, and I'm gonna work this out. So maybe when you get yours, you'll know, hey, I see what he done wrong, so I'm not gonna do the same. And another thing I like about this is if we mess up on this, I'm sure I can call him and say, hey man, I messed up one decal, can you get me another one? And he can. He can also do custom decals any way you want it. Pop that like a pimple. Another trick that you could probably do with this is put a little bit of soap in your water. I've done that before. We might end up doing that. When I say a little bit, just like a drop, and that makes it slick. You can hear me working. You can see it shot some of the water out of it right there. I'm slowly getting them there. And I'm using the felt side. It won't scratch my decal in. I'm not going to bore you with this. I'm going to go ahead and cut the camera off and show you the finish, but that's what I'm going to keep doing to get this out. It doesn't hurt that it's kind of chilly outside. Like I said, I need a garage. Somebody buy me a garage. I feel like I had enough water on it. I feel like it was just so sticky that it didn't want to do it. So I'm going to put a little bit of dishwashing liquid in it, like that much. And this is Dawn. I don't know if that matters, but this is what we've done in the past. And that just kind of gives it a slicker deal, a little soapy. We'll try that on the next one, see if it won't improve it. You ready? All right, let's see if we can do this one without messing this one up. So I got my decal. This is my piece that goes right here around my hood latch. So I'm gonna peel it off, and I'm gonna wet it. I'm talking about for real wet it. Didn't get the camera, did I? All right. You see my stars line up right there? That's the way it's supposed to be. See how it's moving around? That's the way it's supposed to be right there. So the rest of it should go smooth. Yeah. And here's where the hairdryer really comes in handy. I'm gonna heat it, and then I'm gonna heat it, and then it's gonna push the water out of it. Put a sticker on it or something on it. It's beautiful. I don't know if just didn't have enough water on it before, or the soap made a difference. So I just put a little soap on it to start with. We'll find, we'll line it up and make it stay. So that's the way it's supposed to work. Man, this is gonna look good. And these decals are so thick. I might not even need the hairdryer on that one. We'll put it on it anyway. Make sure all the water's out of it. All right. We'll put the hairdryer on it and move on to the next one. A little part of the hood is this one. Bottom piece. I'll line it up. My wife said, it's so much better when you know what you're doing. Yeah, I'll give her that. That's pretty. Other than the air bubbles I got in that, I'll get them out, or at least when you hit a little mud on it, you'll never notice it. All right. I'm a little nervous about this one. Look. So, fingers crossed, it goes on good. Wet it. All right. Are you nervous, Trina? She says she ain't nervous. She goes, this is side by side. It's gonna get muddy. These decals are so thick. All right. All right, we gotta place it. Definitely wouldn't hurt to have some more hands on this. Trying to keep it wet. Trying to line it up to where I think it goes. Looks like I need to come this way some. I'll show you what I'm going by over here in a little bit. I'm not there yet. We got some push pins over here that you gotta go around. They're there. Just a little bit more, and I think we'll be able to make it stay. See what we're looking at. You see something? I wonder if it's supposed to go a little closer down there. You might watch this and I might title the video "What Not to Do." If I can make it right there, it looks a lot better. Gotta go like that. Well, don't know about lining this one up right here. crease is right there, so that's where this is supposed to go. Oh, fighting it. Heck, we're gonna put the heat with it and make it stay where it lands. I just heard a my wife was standing in some ants and they got her. Oh me. You know, actually that turned out pretty good. We found out that when you put the heat on it, it made the decal more flexible. So I'm gonna try to heat that other decal before I put it on. Like I said, I'm learning as I go here. Putting decals around these curves is rough, and everything goes pretty good. Now right here, I did have, it didn't exactly line up on the pin right, and that's because I didn't have it lined up over there. So I cut that out just a little bit right there. But all in all, it's starting to look pretty daggone good right there. Now let's hit that side right there. So, all right, so we're trying this. Like I said, this decal is so thick, and we found out when we put heat on that side that it got a little bit more flexible. So I'm gonna try this and see if it works. I'm gonna put a little heat on it. And I'm gonna wet it. Need more hands. I seen you reaching trying to help. That was close. Has some cat-like reflexes right there. About had to call and say, hey, how much will you cut me another decal for? Okay. I don't know that it helped cooling that off or heating that up because I cooled it off with the water. Trying to look at my other side too. I think so. My wife's filming and I see her looking at the other side too, just like I was doing. You see the water coming out of it. You also got to keep in mind, this is side by side, it's not a show car, so. It's looking good. This one's turned out better than that one, so it just seems like you get that one under your belt. Come right here. See, I had an air bubble and I started working it out. And watch it come out there on the bottom. Got all the water out of it. And air. Ooh, burnt my hand. That turned out so much better than the other side. Okay, so this is the first piece we put on there, and well, you see bubbles on it, man. But I'm telling you, once you do a piece, you learn. Like here, there's a little bubble right there. I didn't mean to hit the camera right there. A little, but I'm gonna try to heat that like I did the other side. It might be too late. Well, let me show you how the other side turned out. I could heat that and like manipulate that decal some. So let's look, man, look at that. Oh my God, does that look good? And here's this side. Boy, that's sharp. That is so sharp. So I heated that. I just showed you that crack or that little wrinkle, and that's all my fault. But I heated that, and it's almost gone. When I was heating it, I just worked it with my thumb. Yes, yes, sir. All right. All right, the side door piece. I got my decal. I cut around it just so I kind of lay it in place and decide where it goes, and then I cut around the door handle so I know where to center it at. So water door, same process, but this is a big piece, so again I'm a little nervous, but I think we'll be fine. Don't drop it. And I would, if you have a warm shop, I think it'd be a lot easier. My wife actually warmed the door with the hair dryer before we got this one going, and I believe either in sun on a real warm day would make this a lot easier. Kind of lining it up with my door handle. Oh yeah. That's gonna be it. Okay. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my wife to help me here, because I need two hands with the heat and the blow dryer and stuff. So, I'm not going to bore you with squeegeeing this out, because I think you got the concept. And if I haven't run into anything where I think you need to be included, then I'll include you. But right now, I need another hand. So, baby, catch you up to where we're at right now. Looks good. Looks really good. I'm really impressed with the product. Now, it's taken a lot of learning for me to get it right, but maybe you guys can learn from my mistake. And we're gonna have to stop there today. We're running out of daylight, so That's what it looks like so far. Man, is it going to look good. I mean, just look at that. So I got one side done in the hood. Now you've seen the hood, and I didn't take you along with on doing the side because I didn't have a camera person and I needed both hands and it was difficult. So when I do the other side, I'm gonna make sure that my wife's with me to film. Now this right here turned out so good. I did have to trim a couple pieces, and I'll show you where I trimmed, and that's because I have the Nerf bars, or whatever you want to call them. I have those on, so that's why I had to trim those. And I do have the extended fender flares, so one piece didn't line up, and I think that was a little bit of my fault. So it's warmer today, it's 72 degrees, and it made a big difference. So if you have a heated shop, yes, go for it, or wait till it's sunshiny and real warm outside. Let me flip you around and show you what I'm talking about. Look at that. Now I do have some air pockets, but that's all my fault. And the piece that scared me the most was this piece right here, and actually went on the easiest. I just had to hold it up and stand on it was weird. I had to pull it with my feet to get the cover off it, if that makes sense. But I'll show you how I done that on the other side when I get that done. So, and the piece I had to trim was right here. I had to trim that. And I trimmed this. I just cut that off because it went down and around it. So I cut that section out because really I couldn't get to it, and there's no need to having it in there anyway. So, boy, it is beautiful. I mean, it is unreal how good this thing looks. I'm so impressed. So let me spin it around and talk to you. So if you want to know how the rest of it turned out, or how I done this, then stick around for the rest of the video, and because I'll film the other side when I'm working on it. And I did learn some tricks, and definitely the wetter you get the decal, the better, and the warmer it is outside is definitely better. And I did learn a few little tricks as I went, so I'll share the knowledge. So guys, here is what it looks like now. Let me go show you the other side. And this other side is when I took the factory decals off, and actually I like the way that looks, but look, huge difference, huge difference. So if you want to know what one looks like with no decals, there you go. Look at this, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right, I got a couple hours to work on this side of the machine. I don't know if I'll have enough time to get done, and it's trying to rain, so there's a lot of factors here. But what I wanted to show you is a couple things that I've learned in this process that can help you when you get ready to install this decal kit if you get one. They're awesome, and the material's so thick. And I've learned, I guess was that a word, learned? So I learned that it's kind of strange. Let me spin this around. Okay, I've put a lot of decals on, like on tractor and trailers and stuff like that. I've never put like the actual wrap kit, and I thought it would be just like a decal, but it is, but it's a lot thicker. So a decal, if you try to on a car, if you try to manipulate it, like if it don't line up here or somewhere, if you want it to go a little lower, you can heat this, and you can't do it with a decal. You can heat this with a hair dryer and kind of move it, manipulate it a little, and that's really really neat. That's one thing that I learned that I thought that was different, and I understand why they call it a wrap kit now. So that's one thing that I learned. Another thing is it's a little long here on the bottom of my door, just a little. So when you open the door, it's going to scrub and shut and scrub. For one thing, my doors has dropped a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to trim my decal. I'm going to put me a straight edge on it, and I'm going to cut it off just right there, just a little bit. That way it's going to stay on better. All right, that's one thing I learned. Okay, now I'm going to go over here to the decals. On the decals, there's a line. Right here, the decal peels up. You can see that. I hope you can see that. Okay, then there's another line on the outside. It's like a little 1/16 or 1/8 inch strip that comes up. So what I've been doing is I've been taking a pair of scissors and cutting around through here, around the entire decal. Then once I cut them out, I can hold the decal up to where I think it goes and get that position there. Then I take my knife and go ahead and peel up this little strip right here. That's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. I'll go ahead and get that out of the way, and because it don't go on there. So that's one thing. Anyway, I'll quit playing with it. That's another thing that I have learned. Also, what I've done, it's spring here and it's pollen is starting to come. So I wipe my panels down real good, you know, and I clean them with an acetone to make sure there was no residue left. And once I get them clean, before I put my decal on, I wet them and wipe them down again. Because anything you get trapped underneath your decal, it's going to make a little bubble or a little bump. So you want a clean panel when you get ready to put these on. And that goes for all of it. Like that mud spot right there, yeah, that would be bad. So that's... Now let me turn around. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set the camera up and I'm gonna cut out a decal, just in case you didn't know what I was talking about, because sometimes I can't put into words what I have in my mind. So I'm gonna show you that, and then I'm gonna go over a couple of these decals here on how I put them on. And I'm gonna show you how this back one went on. It was tall, so I had to start it and get the paper down and stand on it, because I'm doing it by myself, and pull the wrapper. I'll have to just show you that. And there was one other thing I just thought and lost it that I was going to show you. I'm sure I'll think about it in a minute. So we'll get started, and this is the final side of it. And guys, this is an awesome deal. Oh, and check this hat out. Super clean. Does anybody use their products? They sent me some to try, and I think I'm gonna, from what I've read about them, they're pretty good. So if you use Super Clean, let me know what you think about them, if they're good or not. All right, so let's get to work. Yeah, and one thing I did is when I started putting mine on, I started with the big decal first, because it's easier to see where it goes on the machine. So I start with the big ones, and then I work the small ones into that. So that was another thing that I've done. There's a lot to learn here, but guys, don't be scared to do this. It's actually not hard. You just got to think about it and do it. You can't be scared. What I say, don't be scared. So that's it. I'm gonna cut out this big door panel and we're gonna put it on first. Cutting these out just gives you a smaller sheet of paper to deal with, basically, and it's just easier. Yes, it's a little longer step, but it works for me pretty good. So I cut that out. You can do this a couple ways. You can pinch this and snip it, just so you can get your scissors in. And the reason I'm doing this is just for when I hold it up there before, to make sure that it's lining up like I want it to. My dog's got a squirrel treed up there. Alright, I find me a good place that comes up, starts coming off easy. And what I'm doing is just pulling the edge off. And yes, this might be an unnecessary step, but it works easier for me to do it this way. And there's some super sticky stuff on the back of this. And it helps if you don't let it get on it. This also helps that it's nice outside. It'd be better if it was a little sunshiny, but hey, take what we can get. At least it's not raining right now. It was raining a few minutes ago. So this is the liner that I was talking about, pulling it off. And it's sticky also. Now there is a couple places on here that this didn't want to come off. And what I done, like right there's a little spot, and I just took a razor blade and just cut that a little bit. It's like a fine line of being cut deep enough and not. And you can see the line to follow when you do this, if you have to do this. When he sent me my decal out, he apologized. He said, hey man, he said I had to change my cutters out on my machine. He said that sometimes it didn't go all the way through in some places. He's also said if there's an issue with that and you can't do this, I'll work with you and make it right. So they're really good people to work with. All right, I'm gonna start off with my little bit of soap and water. And I'm gonna make sure I got this panel wiped down clean. Hope I don't get on the camera and trying to block the water spray. Like I said, you don't want any dust or anything in there. And you know, I noticed also the factory decals, they peeled off so easy. But I believe if you peel these off, you'll have a hard time peeling them off. So I hold my decal up to kind of get an idea. Okay, there's where my handle is. It's about like that. No surprises. That way I kind of know in my mind where it's going. It's out here, it's done got a little dust on it, so I'm gonna wipe the front off just to make sure I don't get in behind me. And another thing, all right, I go and wet my door down real good. And then what I started doing, this is another little trick that I learned. So I was holding that with my finger, and that's really sticky and hard to get off. So then I go ahead and wet that down. Then when I touch it on my finger, it unsticks easy, if that makes sense. Boy, I got dirt on my finger. And also that helps if it folds back under, if the wind catches it and it folds back on itself, it won't glue to each other, because if it sticks back to itself, it's most likely done. So this water helps to prevent that. So she's wet, door wet. Trying to make sure I get it centered around my door handle. And I can still move this right now if I want to, with it being wet. And I'll make sure I keep water in it, because you don't want it to bond yet till you want it where, or you got it where it needs to go. Alright, right here I need to go up a little. There's a little groove right there that this slot fits in. I hope it shows. Where I'm using my felt side of this, and I'm kind of just going to get some of the water out of it. Somebody messaged me and said, man, I can't wait to see you on the trail and see what this looks like. And I'm thinking, Man, if you see me on the trail, it's probably gonna be so muddy you can't see what it looks like. All right, now I got it kind of going my way. So I get my hair dryer. And I actually have a heat gun, but I feel like a heat gun would get too hot for this. So that's why I'm using this hair dryer. So right here it got a little wrinkle, and you just got to kind of work that out. So I'm putting pressure on it and pushing it the way I want it to go. And stretching it where it won't have the wrinkle in it. And this is the kind of the wrap aspect of it, because you can't do that with a decal. See water shooting out right there. Alright, I was going to work this out before I take you guys away from it and make sure I'm recording. I am. And show you how I'm going to do that. So I had a little thing of water right there and there. See how that just folds in there? Well, I could do one now and it'd look flawless. So maybe you can learn with me here, and when you do yours will turn out perfect. Alright, so I got my long decal out and I've oriented it where I know, okay, it goes right here. So I got that in my mind, knowing it goes there. And this is a big decal. So this was very intimidating. So like I said before, I peel this down and go ahead and get some water on that. Make sure that's supposed to stay on the paper. And here's where I was telling you guys that I needed to use my feet and everything to pull this off. I actually stepped on the paper and then pulled it. Are you having a hard time chasing me down, Trina? All right. Now I'm re-wetting my panel. Re-wetting my decal because this really needs to be wet. And I just kind of loosely stick it up there to where I think it needs to be. And I know that there's a crack right here, a seam I should say, so I know it goes in there. This was the trickiest one, but actually it wasn't hard to put on there once I got it going my way. and I keep it wet. This where another hand would be awesome, but hey guys, I'm using my hand, my extra hand, to film for you. I'm thinking I like that. All right, we'll stand back and look at it, and that's where I'm gonna make it stay. And you can also look at your seams right here, lines up. All right, and I'll just work it down. So that's what I was going to show you, that part right there. And you see what I done with the rest of it. Put heat and squeegee it out and use my hands to manipulate the decal to go where I want to. So that's it. You feel me? Okay, so when I was working this down, right here is like a wrinkle. Since this is wet and I've done this on the other side, I can pull this back up and I can kind of stretch that down and kind of work that wrinkle out like that. See, that's smooth and pretty. So I wanted to share that with you, and I'm just working it out. All right, that was it. All right, everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. I haven't finished the wrap on this side, and that being, the reason being is I got a busted door right here that I'm gonna fix. So if you want to see how I fix that, I'll subscribe and I'll show you how I fix that. And there's where I fixed something before, and I need to smooth that over before I put the decal on. But I've already got the decal on, I've rode it, I've got it muddy, and I've pressure washed it, and it's got muddy again, and it still looks good. Now it does need washing, like hand washing now, but anyway, the decal looks great, and it stood up to a pressure washer. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do that before I actually recommend a decal or not, because I'd hate to put it on a pressure washer, take it off. So anyway, I do recommend it. It's beautiful, and you look different on the trail, and everybody eyeballs you and talks about it. So remember Rapstar, and I'll put that link in the description below. Thank you guys for tuning in.